A lot of you have heard the story of why I got involved with nutrigenomics. The rest of the story, so to speak, is about why I've become such a proponent for being very proactive in our health. I moved back home because my dad had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And that's what led to my sister learning about nutrigenomics, because we were just looking for a way to try to avoid some of the stuff that seemed to be coming down the pike. My dad had a heart attack. Now, this is someone who had been diabetic for many, many years, stage 4 kidney failure, has heart disease, was on blood pressure medication. He was also overweight most of his life. He used to smoke. On top of that, my grandfather died because of arterial sclerosis, hardening of the arteries. And all these precursors, right? And yet he wasn't being screened. When he had his heart attack, they found 4 blocked arteries. He got 3 stents, said it felt like the lights came on, and he acted like the lights came on. 9 months later, he had another heart attack, did another stent. A lack of blood and oxygen to the brain, which is what happens when you have clogged arteries, creates the symptoms and actual mental decline. If our brains don't get enough blood and oxygen, they start dying, quite literally. Even though eventually he had the heart attacks and he got the stents, got the blood and oxygen flowing again, there was damage already done because it had gone on for so long. It just really sticks in my mind is how much of this could have been avoided. The reason I bring this up is you probably saw something from me just recently where I have partnered with Lifeline Screening, and it was really interesting the way it came about. I wasn't looking for something else to do, but I have been talking to people. Anytime I talk to somebody who is dealing with a relative or a family member, a loved one who has any issues with mental decline, I always say, have them scan their arteries, check their arteries for blockages. Now, the problem with that is if a person is not exhibiting symptoms of clogged arteries, the shortness of breath, the tightening in the chest, those kinds of things, the insurance often won't pay for it. I had one person tell me her insurance, because she didn't have any symptoms, they would not pay for any of it, and her coverage, she had very good insurance, it was going to cost $1,500. That was just for one. That was just her big artery in the neck. When Lifeline Screening contacted me, I was kind of floored, but I was like, how ironic, because they provide screening that is so incredibly affordable. And depending on the time of day you go, you're talking an hour or 2 out of your time. They do have a bundle. It's $159 for 4 tests. They test for blockage here. They test for blockage down in the stomach, the groin area. They test for circulation, your circulation at your extremities, because that can be a signal of issues. And they test for AFib. Did you know that 80% of the population of people that have had strokes had no symptoms? Your chances of being screened for blockages that could lead to stroke and or heart attack and or mental decline are pretty darn slim. But through Lifeline Screening, you can get it 4 tests for $159. No insurance, no referrals, no hassles. Lifeline, just this year, this is 2025, just between January and June, they have identified over 90,000 people here in the US who have some type of minor issue showing up. If we're talking minor, we're talking a blockage of less than 70%. Here's the kicker. They've identified over 9,000 people in the US who had a serious issue showing up on one of the screenings, and the person was then able to take that information to their doctor. And for many people, it's been a life-saving thing. $159 for something that could save your life or just give you peace of mind. If you're over 40, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you have just joined the club of people who are most likely to have issues with blockages leading to stroke and or heart attack and or AFib. I know, it's not a fun club, but here we are. If you are over 40 and you've never had your arteries screened, I encourage you to have this done. It's actually really simple. It's very casual. You never have to undress. You check in, you are called for your first screening. Usually it's laying down on a bed. They might roll your shirt up, they might roll your sleeves up, but you're never going to have to undress. Nothing invasive. There's no needles. There's no probes of any kind. You're not going to get poked and prodded. Artery screenings are done with ultrasound. The AFib is done with electrical probe. The little sticky things. It's non-invasive. It's really easy. We went in the morning. It took us maybe about an hour for both to get through it. I added on a bone density scan simply because I'm postmenopausal. That's another one of those fun things, ladies, that we have to keep an eye on. We got our results, I believe it was about a week or so later. It's non-invasive, it's inexpensive, You don't have to have a referral, you don't have to have insurance, so why not? Why not? I'm going to drop that link in the comments below. You can go there, set up your appointment, you get to choose from whatever is available. Near you, there's over 15,000 locations in the US. Since 1993, Lifeline Screening has screened over 11 million individuals. Why not you?